All right, we're ready.
So, question for Chief Beltran. My colleague reported this week on the NYPD encrypting radio frequencies at 6 precincts in Brooklyn North. Is this going to be expanded out citywide, and is there going to be a carve-out for the press where they'll still be able to access the frequencies?
So yes, we do plan to expand this upgrade in our technology, by the way, which is 40-year-old technology that we're upgrading from, is a multi-year process in terms of preparing the infrastructure to support that upgrade. So we will be expanding it, and we've been looking at other cities, and we continue to explore other options to enable media access consistent with what the technology supports and what other cities, the success that other cities are having.
So are you limiting, I'm sorry.
All right, we got Juliet Papa.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. So would you be limiting then for anybody to particular precincts only? Or does that expand, or how is that going to work, borough to borough?
The plan is for the digital upgrade to be citywide, and for the encryption capabilities under that digital upgrade to also be deployed citywide.
Donald Miles, ABC.
Okay. A few follow-up questions with that. First of all, yes, it is 40-year-old technology, but is the department having any difficulty with interference with other actors on the frequency, broadcasting the frequencies? And so is part of the motivation to keep certain individuals off the frequency? And then secondly, the NYPD has a lot of partners in the community. So how do you plan to respond, communicate with the FDNY and other agencies during a big emergency if you guys are encrypted and others are not?
So we have a history of our radios being used against us. Our radio is one of the most important technologies, one of the most important tools that we provide to police officers and that we train them in. And because it's more important than their firearm and anything else that they have in terms of being able to respond to incidents, to also being able to request assistance. So that capability is thwarted because more or less we're licensed to use those frequencies and those channels, but they're also hijacked by sometimes our adversaries and bad actors who look to do exactly that.
Are you also finding a lot of novice sleuths showing up in addition to the media? Can you explain what type of obstacle that may present for the department?
I think we do have some people that intentionally try to disrupt our mission critical communication. You have enthusiasts, right? So I think those are the groups of people that are out there, and that's why we're exploring these capabilities. You mentioned the question, the second part of your question was about partners. We've been in communication with our partners. We have memorandums of understandings with people, with other first responders and other groups, EMS, other groups outside the city that we share communications with. And we've been in communication with them about this upgrade, and we're providing assistance to them so they can enable access to our systems, and we're going to continue to do that as we move forward.
How's it going so far?
It's going great.
Next question is going to be from Steve Yang.
Hi, I'm a freelance photographer covering a lot of breaking news in the city, and will you be allowing media access to the encryption? Because it seems awfully suspicious to encrypt them. Yes, you're upgrading technology, but without giving any specific examples of interference. Can you tell us about one instance of interference with the radios?
We have, like I said, we have a history, so I think we can provide examples of that history through DCPI. I won't do that now because the type of interference, like I said, is widespread, but we have a lot of examples that we can share with the media.
And I mean, it seems like there should be some recognition of trusted media sources, because our common enemy here is false information on social media. You have all these people on the street with cell phones telling everyone what they think happened. Don't you see the importance of having news organizations that have a relationship with you guys to be able to have access to this information?
So in addition to digital technology and communications and radio, encryption has been out there for a while. We've used encryption for a while for years on certain channels. Other cities have gone encrypted and have dealt with these issues also. That's why we're exploring to see what's the best option to strike that balance between keeping police officers safe, keeping the community safe, and making sure that there's appropriate media access and information for transparency in the city.
All right, next question will be from Usman from Loud Labs.
Last year, Chicago encrypted their frequencies, and San Francisco. I just wanted to ask, will there be access to the media through like an app like Broadcastify on a 15 to 30-minute delay? Because it seems that you're not really giving like examples of what are you trying to provide media access, even though it's a 40-year-old technology.
So part of our research, part of our implementation, and instituting this new technology is looking to see what those other cities have done. So that's all part of the exploration and research process.
All right, we're going to go over to John Romolia.
Hi, I'm asking about encryption again. So if everybody asked the same question, what access would press have? And I don't feel like I kind of heard the answer quite yet. And I mean, the encryption already began. So we're already having an issue to where we can't access certain neighborhoods. And I mean, I feel like there should be a more clear response to where media is going to be with all of this, you know, because even if it's a 30-minute delay, that's also an issue for accountability, for a lot of other things that are important for us.
Well, like you mentioned before, we already have 3 zones that are encrypted, but we have dozens of zones in the police department, and the infrastructure to support converting all those zones to digital and to encryption are still more than a year and a half away. So it is I know it is a concern. I've discussed it with members that represent you in terms of for this particular issue, and we are exploring every possibility to strike that right balance, like we said before.
Is there a timeline maybe? Since 3 precincts are already encrypted, is there a timeline?
Not at this time.
All right, we're going to go over to Juliet Papa, 1010 Wins.
Yeah, for Deputy.
Hi, sorry to keep jumping around on you, but Chief Essick, this is for you. Back to the cab driver. I know you said there were 2 arrests. The DA has no record of that. Did they get DATs, the 2 people, do you know?
They were charged with assault.
They're actually charged with assault. And the other 3 guys are just in the wind, right? All right, and again, you don't know what the dispute is about?
No, not right now. Detectives are
How you doing? First question was about radio encryption, and I know that there's going to be all these upgrades that are coming, but is there going to be anything in addition to just the nature of encryption, which is people can't listen in? Like, will any of these radio transmissions be stored for any amount of time? Will it be used as evidence or discovery in any sort of cases? Is any of that going to happen at all?
All that.
Is there any, like what other upgrades are we going to have in addition to that, if any?
Yeah, Mark, thanks for the question. Everything that we currently maintain that we're required to disseminate in terms of an arrest, freedom of information, all that will continue to be maintained, and we will be able to get that post-incident. So that's all. The current system is going to stay the same in terms of how we retrieve information, request for information after an incident. I think the issue here is really real-time communications of our mission-critical voice.
All right, we're going to start with
The encryption, volunteer ambulance services, like community groups, that kind of thing. Have you already in those communities where it went dark? Are you sharing the encryption codes so they can access, so the volunteer ambulance corps can go and like respond?
So as you can imagine, this community, right, radio experts, radio technicians, radio enthusiasts, and emergency responders, they're a tight-knit community. So we're in communication with all our partners who work with us and have agreements with us to monitor and transmit on our radio systems. They know the changes that we're making. They know what they need to do to be able to get access. Some of them have done that already, so we're in the progress of doing it. And we're going to continue to do that for not just the people within New York City that are our partners and first responders, but also neighboring communities and neighborhood counties. By the way, many of which are already encrypted. So.
And what would you say, just for the critics that say that this is just another way of stopping transparency in the NYPD, that you're stopping people from getting this information on a timely basis? What's your response to that?
I've worked IT around 14 years in this police department, and I'm excited that we're introducing new viable technology that helps keep the public safe and helps keep our police officers safe. That's what I would say to them.
all right, our final.